Hey guys, welcome to Wedding Pros. Today we're going to be checking out the Yolobox by YoloLive. It's an all-in-one streaming and recording solution with a built-in display. It's really incredible, so let's check it out. Okay, so I said it was incredible. It's actually just kind of like okay. It's really all about the convenience when it comes to this thing. So let's take a look at what it does, because for some of you, this is gonna be the perfect solution for your live streaming needs, especially for you wedding filmmakers. The Yolobox is an all-in-one streaming and recording solution. It has two HDMI inputs, a USB input, an HDMI output, Ethernet input, a microphone input, and a USB-C input for charging and powering it. It also has 4G LTE SIM cards capabilities, as well as a SD card spot, so you can do all your recording and whatnot on that. What we're gonna talk about today is really who is this for, and really what are some things I like about it, what are some things I don't like about it. So here's what I like about this thing. First of all, it's easy. You turn it on, you create a project, you go, plug your stuff in, it just works. It's very easy. There's not a lot to it. I actually think once you get into the projects, the menu is pretty simple. You pretty much have overlays, which most of us aren't going to use at wedding films, but you could use it that way. You could, right here, pick your streaming platforms. You can add your own if you want, although it does seem to be limited right there. That's your audio menu. It's easy. You just do that. And actually, for those of you that are doing live streaming of like sports and stuff, there's a built-in scoreboard overlay, which is really cool. Although I don't know that any of our wedding clients would want us just putting a little scoreboard over them. And then of course you have an SD card menu for controlling your recording. Although in my opinion, the recording quality is not the best. It is better than nothing, and it's a nice little backup for recording of your program. In terms of your inputs, they're all on the top. Here's one of the criticisms I have with the unit actually, is in my opinion, the inputs should be on the bottom. I think all these cables, you can see, first of all, it's ghastly looking. It doesn't look nice having all these cables popping out of the top. Additionally, in my opinion, having all these cables, I'm just looking at the stress that this is gonna be adding over the years. And I just honestly think the build quality is not the best. And don't be shocked if your HDMI ports crap out after a couple years of either just getting tugged on or stepped on or whatnot. Definitely when you're hooking this thing up, just bundling up your cables and kind of tying them against whatever your tripod is or whatever you're using, I think makes a big difference. But all your inputs are right up here. Here's your HDMI inputs right here. Your USB, which I think you can do as like a USB webcam. To be honest, I've never done it, and I don't really imagine anyone doing this in a wedding film, so I didn't really pay much attention to the USB part. Your HDMI out, which is kind of nice if you were using maybe a better recorder, something like that. That could be kind of cool. Ethernet, which I have used, and I think it's great that they included Ethernet, because in my opinion, Ethernet is the best way to go with live streaming, if at all possible. And then your mic input. In general, it's, like I said, it's very straightforward. So let's talk about just using it, because this is where things, I think, you start to see some of the cheapness, some of the parts that I don't love about it. So in general, this thing is about $9.99. It's very affordable. In order to do this, they made it off of the Android platform, which is ubiquitous. But every time I use something with the Android platform, there's always some weirdness to it, right? So the first thing that you'll notice with this thing is the menu system. It's pretty weak. Like, how do I go back here? What do I do? How do I get out of this project? Like, it's not responsive. It's just weirdness all around. You pretty much just have to create a new project constantly, which I really don't like. I mean, look at the mess of this menu. There's no way to select multiple projects to delete them at once, which is also a pain. So you just have to go through and go like, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this. Once you get into a project, it's not so bad. I feel like the menu, once you're working, you're getting going, it's easy, it's pretty easy to use. Switching back and forth between your camera angles is just as simple as just tapping back and forth. Recording is easy, although this is a little confusing. I don't love this menu choice either. In order to record, you have to hit this little camera, which, why is it a picture of a camera? Why is it not a picture of an SD card? That's just a weird design choice to me. It took me like 10 minutes of just clicking every single little icon to figure out how to get my thing to record to my SD card. That's weird. The record button actually is the live button. It's not a record button. But you know, you learn it. It's not that hard. It works. Full screen if you want, which is also nice. Especially when this thing is just mounted right on top of your camera, which is really cool to me that it just fits the size basically of an on-camera monitor, which we're all used to having. And the actual screen itself is decent. It's fine. It's not as good as, you know, some of the other screens that you might be using, but it's perfectly fine. And the good thing is it's got an internal battery and it lasts a pretty long time. So let's just talk about the actual live streaming experience itself, because live streaming is a pretty complicated thing, and a lot of people do it in a lot of various ways. Some of you guys have it embedded on a website. Some of you guys send people directly to a YouTube channel or a Facebook page. There's a lot of ways to go with live streaming. It's complicated. Live streaming. That's what live streaming, that's the sound it makes. Getting your live stream set up is pretty simple on the Yolobox. You pretty much just hit the plus button, decide if you want Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or custom. We'll talk about custom in a little bit. Most of us are gonna be doing Facebook or YouTube. And it's really simple. Facebook, you can stream to pages or groups. The key here is it pretty much has to be public. And for those of you working with teams of people, you may not want to leave your own personal Facebook page logged into something like this. YouTube is also simple. The good thing about YouTube is you can link it directly to individual accounts. A couple notes about streaming on Facebook and YouTube. First of all, it needs to be public. You cannot have a private video. If you do, it basically won't work. Okay, let me stop here. Technically, you can broadcast to unlisted and private videos using the Yolobox and YouTube connection. The problem is embedded channels, which is how you have to do it unless you're using the custom RTMP option, do not display unlisted and private videos. So if you are wanting to embed it on like your personal website or maybe give a client's personal website, it won't work unless you make the entire stream public. The other thing is, I've had issues with YouTube in general where we go on our stream and it actually just doesn't work. The stream doesn't show up until we turn off, and then it puts the old version of the stream, the recording of it, up, but it doesn't go live right away. I think YOLO Live has since fixed this glitch, but things like that tend to happen with the Yolobox. Because you're not using just a streaming platform or maybe a streaming software like OBS where you're able to have kind of that immediate feedback. It's doing a lot, it's complicated. So I've had issues with the YouTube streaming. Facebook has been a little more reliable, but I don't prefer to stream on Facebook. I think it's a little bit unprofessional. I don't love making people go on a Facebook page to watch it. We actually like to embed the video right on a custom page for our clients and just say, hey, go to stopgolove.com/ whatever your couple name, and you can watch your wedding film. Let's get into another issue with that. When you have OBS, or streaming software like that, if you watched our other video, which I encourage you, go check it out right now, which is how we do our 4 HDMI input rolling live streaming rack using the ATEM Mini Pro. Streaming like that, you pretty much are able to do whatever you want with that stream. And one of the things we like to do is schedule a live stream video. We can take our time and then we go live, and it's just, you're embedding this individual video. That might be a little complicated for some of you. Trust me, it's a lot easier and a lot better. You cannot do that with the Yolobox, and this is one of my biggest gripes with this thing. Actually, technically, that isn't correct. They have an option called Custom RTMP where you can connect directly to YouTube. You can connect it using a stream key, very similar to something like OBS. The problem is, I just can't make it work. Setting up your custom RTMP is really, really simple. It's a little clunky though. Enable the custom RTMP option down there. It's gonna show you a little area where you send yourself an email. When that email comes in, you click on it and then you paste your settings from YouTube, and voila, you get these options, YouTube and YouTube 2. Those are custom options I set up. The problem is, when I go live on this Yolobox, it actually just doesn't seem to send content to YouTube. I don't know why. It could be my fault. I'm sure down the line it will work. So while technically I'm correct that it doesn't work, I think also it very well could work. So I don't want to tell you guys, hey, it will never do this, but I do want to be honest that maybe if you really need this feature right now, maybe it's not quite ready for prime time and you don't want to count on it. Yolobox does a lot of updates, and I'm sure it's going to be working very soon. Once we can figure out how to get these pre-scheduled YouTube videos and the custom RTMP option working as intended on the Yolobox, we'll make a video showing everybody how you can do it as well. So stay tuned. Now back to the video. One quick tip. When you're doing live streaming, one of the things I found is you can use the mic input like this, but one of the things that might help you having sync issues with your audio or really just in general is actually taking the mic input and plugging it into one of your cameras and then running your audio through the HDMI. That's just been a little tip that I found where if I'm having issues with audio, that seems to remedy it a lot of the times. The Yolobox by YoloLive is a perfect live streaming solution for somebody who's not the most technically savvy on the computer side, who doesn't want to get into all the various things you can do with live streaming. And guess what? It's really perfect for people who are running wedding video businesses and you want to add live streaming, you want to add that stream of revenue to your business, and you don't want to have to become some kind of computer tech nerd. In the first 3 months, 4 months that we've been offering live streams, we're on pace to do $20,000 to $25,000 of sales of just live streaming as an add-on. I'm saying that not to brag, because honestly, I think we can do better. I'm saying that because I'm telling you, why not? For $1,000, you can add this service and it's really easy. Who cares if it breaks every year and you have to buy a new one? To be honest, it's still worth it to you. It's making bank. So, do I recommend getting the Yolobox? Yes. It's perfect for most people. Is it for everyone? No. If you want to embed videos, if having customized pages matters, if having a lot of different options, or if you're just like a person who hates dealing with messy IOs, or if you want to do maybe more than 2 camera inputs, it's not for you. For those of you that want to just do a simple 2-camera live stream on Facebook or YouTube, the Yolobox by YoloLive is perfect. Go ahead and get it. Thank you guys so much for watching our video today. We hope you got a lot out of it. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. Be sure to check out our other videos up here on YouTube. We got tutorials, all kind of stuff like that. But I really want to encourage you to check out the Wedding Pros podcast. It's up on any podcast platform that you may be watching, as well as all the episodes are up here on YouTube. Thanks so much, guys. See you later.